Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. First and foremost, we're watching Robotech, episode 60, Catastrophe. Now, for the big one. This is a huge episode because we're watching the transition, the end of Masters and the transition to New Generation. I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a little bit worried, friends, because I've loved Masters so much. No disrespect to Macross. I did enjoy that one quite a bit as well, but Masters stole my heart. The 15th is in the collection of characters that we have. Absolutely great. I thought the story was really tight. I thought they did a fantastic job with the dialogue. The characterization, everything about it, I just really, really enjoyed. Now, with that being said, I went back and actually watched Into the Stars. I wanted to see how I felt or what my mood was when I went from Macross to Masters. And friends, I'm bringing that same one when we go from Masters to New Generation. Wow me. You know what? I don't have to love New Generation as much as Masters. I just want to enjoy some more Robotech with all of you. So friends, nothing to it but to do it. Before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time it's time for some Saturday morning React-TOONS. And of course, if there's anything that we do, Robotech included, that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. Not a fan of Patreon? Stick with us here on YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes about a day early, plus any bonus episodes we come up with. But my dear friends, all that is then, this is now, and now it's time to watch episode 60 of Robotech, Catastrophe. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And for the last time with the 15th, away we go! Final fanfare of the Masters. Oh, if someone had told me, I think I've said this before, if someone had told me before I started watching this that, what I always associated with Robotech from what my friends said when I was younger and from what we played with the toys and stuff, it was Macross, 100%. I think I might have heard about the Invid, but I never knew anything about Masters at all. Nothing about I know that's not true. I knew that Dana was Max's daughter, but I had no context whatsoever for it. If someone had told me that I was going to like this more than what I had built up in my mind as a kid with Macross when I went into Robotech, I would have called him a liar, straight up. I'd have been like, there's just no way. I've loved these Veritechs and these jets and all this shit. And, I built it up. It's just the nostalgia and the rose-colored lenses of youth. What a ride this has been. Thank you all so much for being here with me. I've enjoyed every step of the way. On to the new adventures. Let's watch the last episode.
Sergeant, these corridors all look the same to me. Which one leads out? Who knows? We'll just have to keep trying till we find one.
Oh boy.
Everybody
all right, everybody. Ooh, cool shot. Oh, that's awesome.
Let's get at it.
Man, they are laying waste to some people.
Is everybody here?
Yes, ma'am. Everybody except Zor.
Thor, I thought he was with you.
Oh boy.
Since the capture of Musica by the alien intruders, there has been a serious disruption in the bioindex among many of our clones.
Eliminate anyone with a bioindex of less than 70%.
But my
What?
They may not submit to elimination, my lord. There have been reports of rebellion among them.
When you start culling all of these clones, they're going to revolt.
Looks like we found a storage area for some of their troop carriers. That means an exit must be nearby. So how come they aren't guarding this area more carefully?
Don't have enough personnel.
I don't like it. These shuttles could easily be booby-trapped.
And even if they're not, how are we gonna figure out how to fly one to get us out of here?
Crystal can fly anything, man.
Not after what he's been put through by the Robotech Masters. I'm going after him.
Wait, Lieutenant.
Oh, Jesus, Dana.
My sisters and I function together. Everything each of us experiences becomes a part of our collective personality. And my sense memory tells me that they are both in need of my help immediately.
Now I'll go with you and we'll rescue them.
Yep, and I'm going along too.
Really, Nova?
Wait a minute, I'm in charge here. I'll decide whether anybody goes or not.
That's right, you are in charge. What do you say, Angie?
You wait here while we go find them.
I love it.
Gentlemen, our backs are against the wall. I expect this to be the final showdown against this enemy. Make sure all our commanders understand this will be a fight to the finish.
Yes, sir.
Believe me, they got the message, Leonard. Zor laying waste.
Take me to the Masters. I mean you no harm. My business is only with them.
Or...
Fire.
Yep, here he comes right back in. Jeez, oh Pete's.
Now that your quest has failed, I am instructed to offer you one final chance to rejoin us.
Never. I shall not stop until I destroy this society or it destroys me.
Wow.
Prepare to fire.
Yep, here they come. Nice, Dana. Stay down. Let me use you for cover.
Thank you for saving my life, Dana, but I must go on alone.
No way, pal. I'm coming.
This will be too dangerous, Dana.
Really?
Watch out now.
Boom.
This place was full of people earlier, and now no one. Do you think they all went to a different part of the ship?
Jesus, have they been killing anybody with 70% or less or whatever? Oh my God, is that someone floating outside?
There are my people. They are outside the ship. We are too late. They've been abandoned by the Masters and set adrift.
Oh, well, at least they didn't kill him.
I don't understand why the Robotech Masters would abandon all their people anyway.
Allegra, Octavia, my sisters are here.
Oh, they're still here? Okay.
We know nothing of survival as individuals. Our lives have revolved around the Triumvirate.
Then it's time for us all to learn a new way to live.
Yeah.
It is much too late for any hope of rescue. And even if we are rescued, how will we adjust to life on our own?
Oh boy.
Alien fleet at coordinates R5. This is a code 3 red alert. Repeat, code 3 red alert.
Well, sir?
There better not be a code 4, because I don't know if it gets any worse than code 3. It better not.
The Micronian fleet is advancing toward us, my lord.
Cool shot.
Assign half our fleet to engage the enemy in space. The remainder will go down to the planet. Once there, they must retrieve the protoculture. There lies our last hope for eternal life and the guarantee of perfect stability for millennia to come. This time we must let no one prevent us from obtaining the Matrix.
Okay.
With the addition of the new protoculture to this, our last fertile Matrix, we shall finally have the power we need to regenerate ourselves and our society for the rest of eternity. So you have finally come. We have been expecting you, Zor, and you have not disappointed us.
Then I assume you know my purpose.
Yes, of course. Your purpose has always remained the same.
To kill you.
You mean it was Zor who also developed the Zentradi people?
Zor became the prime force behind all the advancements of our society.
No, no! The protoculture has brought only death. I will end this evil here.
Whoo!
Surely you are not prepared to destroy your most precious creation, the embodiment of all your hopes and dreams.
It'd be awesome if you just shot it while he was talking.
My civilization is already dead.
Yeah, he's not worried about it.
We must hurry, the flowers have blossomed.
Uh-oh.
Attempting to save the protoculture vessel from destruction, Dana Sterling has caused the seeds inside to blossom, releasing their energy. For Dana, the energy has unleashed the racial memories buried within her Zentradi cell structure.
That's awesome.
Huh? The Triumvirate.
Oh, dear God. We can't handle 3 Danas.
Well, I am not a part of your people. I am an individual human being.
Well, half human, half Zentradi.
I am an individual human being from the planet Earth. Oh, huh? Where am I?
Planet Earth.
I'm not going anywhere. Who are you?
I'm your sister, Dana, the other daughter of Maximilia.
My sister? But why are you here?
What?
Hey, please come back. I want to know more.
The spores, Dana. Beware of the spores and the invid.
The what?
Was that really Maximilia?
We'll come in search of the spores.
I got chills. Even though it was a little hokey, I got chills. That was awesome.
All those who stand against us shall perish. Soon we shall release the flower of life from the surface of the planet and be all powerful. Surrender to us, Zor.
How are these pricks still alive if one of them's dead?
I'll be right beside you. But what happened to me while I was holding that container? Are these spores really dangerous?
Wow, another daughter.
I was afraid you both had perished. Many of our people have now been set adrift in space.
We've got to move out. The troops are heading this way.
Yeah, let's all these conversations can take place not here. Boy, that one guy he was rocking his stash.
Stands ready to unleash its full power on the Robotech Master's flagship.
All ships fire!
All ships fire! Boy, I'd like to see him wreck shit for Emerson just one time here. When these pricks don't know we're coming. Technologically, they're just superior.
Back on Earth, the Civil Defense Forces
running past on fire.
Intent on destroying Monument City and retrieving the hidden protoculture.
We gotta get down there. Oh, shit! That's a terrible way to go.
Sir, we have no choice. We'll have to evacuate.
Go if you want. I'm staying here till this battle's over.
We've locked in on their command headquarters. Fire!
There you go, Leonard. Was that his tower? Whew.
They must find a way to leave the ship while protecting hundreds of refugees.
We got those troop transports.
Well, everything looks all right.
Let's go.
All right, everything looks okay up here, so bring everybody up. But do it quietly and hurry.
There was a big grip of those troop transports.
Snap it up. Let's go. Hurry up.
Angie rocks. Angie, get up there.
Uh-oh, we got trouble. Huh?
Stay where you are.
You sons of bitches.
We're trapped here.
Everybody in this room, go back at once or be eliminated.
Everybody in this room.
How dare you speak of rights for those who have betrayed the Triumvirate and rejected our society and its way of life?
Do you see what's going on?
These are not your slaves. These are individuals who have chosen freedom over the restraints of your society.
God, Nova's carrying a baby. Oh. Yeah, Louie.
You have always been the ideal for all of us. Nothing must be allowed to happen to you.
Aw, kid.
What is this? Musica, the Micronians have cast a spell over you.
Yes, because they have magic.
Any ideas on getting out?
Mm-hmm. Pray for a miracle.
This is the 15th. We do miracles.
So this is the reason you stood me up for our date at the rendezvous.
Yeah, I meant to drop you a note, but I got real involved.
Oh yeah? No excuses.
Sean said, yeah, I stayed back for a reason.
Come on, let's get out of here!
You sons of bitches!
Yes, I know. To the end of space and time, we three always be.
That's awful.
There, that ought to do it. Everyone into the troop carriers.
System now set.
Okay, what are we doing here? They're just looking for the right one. Okay.
The moment of liberation is at hand. The time has come for release of the protoculture from beneath the surface of the planet.
We gotta end these guys.
Masters, hear me. The moment of retribution is at hand. You must pay for your evil deeds.
We have destroyed the defenders and broken through the planet's surface. The protoculture is about to be released. You cannot stop it.
We can stop you.
Stop that machine.
Impossible. It's locked on automatic.
And then we just kill you guys. Oh, they got a gun on the bottom of their little Phantom Zone thing.
Master, you shall not escape me.
Come on.
It's heading for Monument City. If we don't find a way to stop it, this ship will crash right into them.
Oh, great.
We have to capture him alive. We need him to run the ship.
Stop, I command you.
Wait, Zor, no!
I'm with you, Zor. For the first time in this series, I'm with you, bud.
What do you mean all over? This ship's gonna demolish the city.
The Masters had to be punished for their misuse of the protoculture.
Blow the ship up.
Why punish them for something beyond their power?
Do not worry about your people. I will allow no harm to come to them.
He's staying.
Goodbye, Dana.
What?
He's staying.
Zor! You can't do this to me!
Dude, are you literally gonna go down with the ship?
Inside the command capsule of the flagship, Zor has activated his bioroid and prepares to carry out his plan.
My final gesture, my own sacrifice for the destruction my creation has caused throughout the galaxy.
Wow.
The destruction of this ship over the site of the battle fortress is the only guarantee that the protoculture will be obliterated before it brings the Invid to this planet. Now.
Yikes. We know that that doesn't happen.
Stop it, Zor! Please! Don't do this! There must be another way!
Honor him. Man, they cut right through that plateau.
Oh no! The spores! The spores, they're going everywhere!
Is that bad? I couldn't eat.
Zor's final gesture above the site of the SDF-1 has compounded the disaster. Zor has made a critical miscalculation. Instead of rendering the protoculture matrix useless, he has freed the spores of the mutated protoculture strain to become a fertile garden, awaiting cultivation by the Invid.
Oh, Jesus.
Has detected the release of the spores and the blossoming of the flowers of life.
Oh my God.
He must attempt to rebuild once again, but this time in the face of an uncertain future, as they must now await the coming of the Invid.
All right, everybody, we just got done watching the end of the Robotech Masters saga with episode 60, Catastrophe, and the only thing left to do is to talk about it. Oh my gosh, all right, we just got done episode 60 of the Masters saga, the end of the Robotech Masters saga, Catastrophe, and God, what a catastrophe it was. Full disclosure, I just clicked and collect, and so I might change my mind a little bit. This was, in a weird way, I'm going to say this. I think this was like one of the weakest episodes of Robotech Masters. We had some resolution. We had some things, there was the sacrifice of Zor, but it all seemed so counterproductive because now, again, knowing that these are three separate properties, I'm sure that I'm not certain, but it seems to me that probably at the end of Southern Cross, the independent property, that this was a victory. That this wasn't some type of literal and figurative seeding for the next war that's going to hit with New Generation. I would have liked to have seen. I don't know what I would have liked to have seen because, we needed to have the resolution of the fight and the escape. We needed to have, all of the released clones kind of get out of there and get down onto planet or escape from the ship. They were innocent, to the nth degree there. And, getting them off of the master ship before it went down was great. I liked Zor's sacrifice. I think it wasn't so much noble in my mind. It was very noble, but I think it was something else. What I liked about this, beyond the nobility of self-sacrifice, this was like a recompense. This was clearing the ledger. At least in Zor's mind, Zor thought, I'm the clone of Zor Prime. I'm the one that did all this shit. I'm the one that basically harnessed the power of the protoculture. I'm the one that figured it all out. The SDF-1 was my ship. All of this shit, it's on me, even though it wasn't really me. It was on me. And you got the memories of Zor, and you've got the the body of Zor and all that stuff. I mean, at some point, are they two independent people? I tend to think yes, because the clone has very different experiences than Zor, but it also possesses the same memories. Is it responsible for what Zor Prime did? I don't think so, but I can understand the guilt. I can understand the guilt association, because regardless of looking at it rationally and saying logically, this body didn't do any of that stuff. This mind didn't do any of that stuff. I'm just kind of the suitcase carrying the dirty laundry of the old Zor. And but then again, in so doing that carrying and so having that as part of you, that guilt and that association and understanding that this is your fault, that wouldn't go away with even the realization that it wasn't really you. It's still something that I completely agree he could never have really come to grips with. I think I liked Zor the most in this episode because of that realization. It's finally kind of he spent the entire series, this entire leg of Masters, basically trying to figure out who the hell he was. And I liked that this was the resolution. He figured out who he was, and he's the guy that was caused all this shit. So time to end the cycle. And I admire that part of it. Dana's vision it seemed shoehorned to me. It seemed like, we need to get her involved, but this is actually a scene from Southern Cross that doesn't translate real well into the Robotech Masters leg of all of this. I was very intrigued by the little blue-haired girl that ran up and said, "I'm the other daughter of Max and Miria." Is that a real thing, or was that just was that just something they added in for this one? Help me out if you can in a non-spoilery way. I mean, she seemed much younger. I don't know if that was just by comparison, or I don't know. I mean, interesting stuff there. I'm sure that that's explored more, or at the very least refuted, but I'm very curious about that, especially since it seems like the Sterling Miria progeny play prominent roles in Robotech. So I'm very interested. Maybe I mean, is she in New Generation? I don't know any characters from New Generation. I don't even know what they look like. I have no clue about New Generation at all. I don't know though. It's just again, I didn't want to see Masters end, and at the same time, this seemed both rushed and it drug in places, if that makes sense. It's like, they only had so much animation to work with here. I could see at the end when they were trying to fit in like Dana dialogue and narration, they just kept on that still shot of her kind of looking at the sky with the ship going off, trying to get in as much as they could. And it's a Herculean effort. I mean, I can see that 40 years removed from all of this, trying to get these properties to fit together, having as much success as you had in, from Macross over to Southern Cross. I mean, I get it. I mean, I understand it was very difficult. By no means does this final episode kind of like ruin it for me or anything like that. It just leaves me with questions and kind of like an unfulfilled feeling. I wanted to see if, Crystal and Sean got together. I wanted to see some of like the relationship resolutions. I wanted to see Musica and Bowie, maybe like a final kind of around the horn farewell would have gone a long way with me. And we didn't get that. We basically just, the thing exploded and we just hard cut. And that was the end. We had the dispersal of the spores and then the alerting or whatever come from the Invid Nebula sensor array thing, that it had already kind of picked up the kind of the spreading of the protoculture spores. Holy crap. I mean, it was an Empire Strikes Back ending. It wasn't, yay, victory. I mean, it was like, hey, we don't have to fight tomorrow, but day after, we're probably on again. Which leads me to a good transition, because now I'm thinking to myself, okay, so New Generation is starting. We're leaving Masters behind. I'm assuming that there's no other way to explain the events of Masters and what I can assume the events of New Generation without what I would think to be a substantial time jump. Now, is that going to be like another decade? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more, simply because unless it's explained where Dana and the 15th went, they're not appearing in the next leg of this, as much as I would love to see them just even, kind of ceremonially represented in some way. I'm sure they'll probably mention them. But at the same time, I mean, Rick's not going to be there. Dana's not going to be there. We're not going to have any carry through from those two. So it just seems like we were left with unfinished business. The bed still isn't made. The table hasn't been cleared. None of the laundry's been picked up or washed. It's just, we had a lot to do and we just ran out of time to do it. And darn, that's all I can really say. Darn. Now, with the, Into the Stars, I thought did as the transitional episode for Macross the Southern Cross, even though it was kind of preceded by some very, very weak episodes, Into the Stars itself was good. Into the Stars itself was strong. I thought that this episode was, in a weird way, I'm kind of talking myself out of this, but in a weird way, I think Catastrophe did its job in that it left us kind of shoulder shrugging, like, okay, now what? We dire kind of prophecies, and now what? Which is cool. I mean, that's a good device to use, and there's really, I think they did their best with it. I just wish there could have been a way, like I said, to just have some resolution with our actual characters, and not just sort of a pause in the major main event type of storyline that we had. But Okay, so now, I mean, the easiest thing to talk about now is, Southern Cross or the Master Saga as a whole. I thought it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I loved just about every aspect of it. I loved every character, even Leonard and even Nova when Nova was, doing things that blew my mind as far as like hypocrisy, like you're the traitor. No, wait a minute. I'm the one that's been telling Zor all this stuff. Let's forget about that. But you're the traitors, all that stuff. The entire story was fantastic. I thought that, the development of the characters outside of what would be considered the main character in Dana was really, really good. We got a lot of introspection, some great, powerful narration in certain episodes. The flow of the story was a lot tighter. It was to me, its construction was much better than the Macross leg. Again, I don't fault Carl Masick or anybody like that who was involved with like the editing and putting together storyboarding. They only had so much shit to work with. I mean, they didn't have like all of this animation that they could, they were under the gun, and to do it as well as they did it is amazing. You could, like we mentioned it before, Macross was their first kind of proving ground, and they got through it and they did it, adequately. It was enjoyable, but they had some stumbles. I think we can all safely say that. I think it's fair to say that. And I think that they eliminated a huge, if not almost all of the same problems that they had in Macross did not carry through to Southern Cross. And they were really able to really tighten up the tale, have more characters to kind of explore, increase the dynamic qualities of those characters to really explore the world at large. We got a really good kind of a slow burn with the Masters, like the Robotech Masters, their actual culture, incredible comparisons between the civilian clone population inside the Master ship and Macross City inside the SDF-1. Great callbacks to the first series, and even a great use of like the 3 hills to kind of make that into Chiron ship and the 2 SDF-1 and 2. Really, really interesting way to do it. I'm absolutely in awe of like the puzzle piecing, making things fit that they did. But the story of the Masters and the story of Southern Cross was sublime. It was just so interesting and so well done. And, I can go on and on about how the comparison of the two. And I'm hoping, my big hope here is, friends, is that they just continue to get better at their craft. This is almost like a brand new form of art, taking existing art and repurposing it into a brand new story. And so I'm hoping now that when they get to this final leg, the final leg was picked for a reason. Obviously it was, because they want to continue this proto-culture story. So when they get to this final leg, I'm going to be really interested to see if, their progression in storyboarding and editing even advances. Like we have the same, maybe not the same amount, because I thought it was a huge change between Macross and Masters, but maybe just getting a little bit better in New Generation. That would be something. And friends, I will end with all of this. Thank you all, each and every one of you, for watching this with me. It has meant the world. Again, this is something that was on my bucket list that I feared. I mean, I had to dust it off when I found it on my bucket list. I thought this is never going to happen. I'm never going to watch Robotech. I mean, I thought maybe I'd watch Robotech someday. I never thought I'd be able to watch Robotech with friends. And that's the big part of all of this. Watching the show in a vacuum is one thing entirely. Watching it with all of you and the support and the non-spoilery comments and just the fun, talking about different aspects of each of these, the Masters episodes and each of these characters. And I'll tell you another thing that has just warmed my heart is so many of you have said, I always liked the Masters saga, but I never really, got into it. I haven't watched it in a while. And man, watching it with you has been so much fun. Friends, that warms, that makes me feel so great when I read that stuff, because I'm like, oh man, that's so cool that somebody was able to watch it, maybe coming back to it for 40. You haven't watched it since it first aired, watching it with me. And we both have a similar experience of, man, this is good shit. And friends, that is what this is all about. Watching good shows, having a great community to share and talk about them with. I mean, it doesn't get any better. If you could do me a favor, my friends, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and allows me to alert you next time we go live. And of course, if there's anything that we do, Saturday morning React-Toons included, that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. We have some brand new members over on Patreon for the Saturday morning React-Toons as we are wrapping up the first season of Star Blazer Space Battleship Yamato 2199. And I am several sessions into Cowboy Bebop. They will be joining the YouTube family of Saturday Morning React-Toons soon, and there will be more React-Toons in the future because I have had too much fun with this, my friends. So now it's time to say goodbye from Robotech Masters. So where should we say goodbye from, my friends? Well, I'm getting a little choked up. I've been thinking about this one, and where you and me, where are we saying goodbye from the Robotech Masters? There is only one place, and you know what I'm going to say. The 15th. We are there. Pick your battle. Pick your poison, everybody. We are in the hover tanks. We are riding along with them. We are absolutely in the mud and the blood and the guts. But we are surrounded by the heroes that make up the 15th. We are led by Dana Sterling. Leonard be damned. Our leader is in the front, at the line, holding the line. She's the one we follow. And friends, victory isn't something that is earned. It is something that is found. And the 15th are explorers, and we find it every damn time we take the field. Until such time, my friends, as we get to leave Masters behind and say hello to the new generation, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.